try your very best to build that confidence and trust within yourself and surround yourself around leaders that are there that you're starting to feel comfortable with, that you feel are going to lead you in the right direction.
Yeah. Welcome to the Collective Mic, the podcast where women leaders get loud about what really matters. I'm your host, Joyce Tody, founder of Collective Women's Leadership. We are not here for fluff. We're here to lead, build, and rise together. Whether you're climbing the corporate ladder, building your own brand, or redefining leadership on your terms, this mic is for you. So let's get into it. All right, welcome back to the Collective Mic. My name is Joyce Tody, and today I am so excited to be sitting down with Philippe Ziade and one of his VPs, who's a woman, Martina. And today we're really exploring hospitality. So Philippe is founder and CEO of Growth Holdings. They just launched a beautiful new AI hotel here in Vegas called the Otonomus Hotel, which will be linked and you can find. But welcome, Philippe and Martina.
Thank you. Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you for having us here. It's exciting, you know, two beautiful women with me on a podcast. That's
what could be worse?
You don't get that every time, right?
Lucky.
That's exactly right. So, Philippe, hospitality is typically known for being male-dominated as it relates to being in the C-suite, executives, all of those things. And I think as we get into this and you think about women in leadership for Growth Holdings specifically, was it intentional that you prioritized, because I know you have Debbie Ong in a position as well, in her role, and also Martina. So they are the forward-facing women leaders of your property, your Otonomus Hotel here. Was this intentionally prioritized, or was this something that evolved as you knew you were building the company?
Well, this is, for me, I look for talent. It happens that I found the talent in these great women. And especially in hospitality. So for me, I chase the talent. Both of them, they're amazing. They're great, very precise. They have a lot of knowledge in hospitality, but also they're really detailed in following exactly the vision and executing on the vision. And also in their leadership position, the way they train the teams, the way the teams looks up to them, the way they lead them, they respond to them, and they execute under them is for me nothing but impressive. So really, I followed the talent, and the talent happened to be in women at this point. So I don't see it as C-suite man kind of dominated, especially in hospitality. And if you look in Vegas, in our like on the Strip, in our hospitality industry, there is a lot of women leaders. Yep. Not necessarily in the CEO position, but you just right under them, you see a lot of these CEOs are putting all their trust in women leaders.
Yeah, specifically in hospitality. I think we've seen that shift here in Vegas, specifically over the last few years. And at times, how do you think male leaders sometimes misunderstand empowering women in executive roles? Because I do think there are some men who don't want to break free from the good old boys network at times, right? They only want to surround themselves with maybe strong women. And I do love the fact that over the last few years, we've seen a huge change in promoting women and trusting women more with, to your point, being more intentional with the execution of the vision, how they're hiring and training and really fostering that culture and environment. But I do think there are not all men think like that still in today's world. And the more women that are leading, we're finding that if women are in these positions, the company's actually more successful with lack of turnover. Would you agree with that?
I do agree with that. And I think the world is changing around us. Also, that's helping, right? So today, the good old boys was with no social media, no exposure, no engagement in the society. All of this has added to the acceptance, or not, I don't want to say acceptance, for women to prove themselves, right? So now it's more of it's getting better and better as a platform for the women to step up and prove themselves. And I think once you start proving yourself, a lot of similar men like me is going to look at it as like, hey, I'm chasing success. I'm not chasing if it's a good old boys or a man or a woman. All I want people that can deliver and execute. And I see that women are doing an excellent job because they're more focused in general, I see, than men. They take their job more seriously. They take it to core. They're emotional, so get emotional with the objectives and what needs to be done, and they chase it day and night. I see Debbie, I see Martina working late hours, weekends. I've never seen a man doing that to that extent, right?
That's right.
So they take it to core. They're emotional about once they believe in the vision, once they believe in leadership, once they believe in what we're creating, then the rest is history. They're just really, really aggressive on executing and delivering, and that's what I see. And I think from that aspect, women can perform better than men, in my experience so far. And like I said, social media execution, and don't forget the AI era we're going into now. So in AI, really, it's you're gonna see less aggressiveness because AI runs the operation, and you're gonna see more judgment. So really, you're gonna have less aggressiveness in running the team to execute because AI will help you execute and will execute on your behalf. So it came down to judgment, and with judgment, men, you get a lot of ego in the way, and a lot of times ego is important, but a lot of times it hurts you. So you see that finesse that women have in making judgments and follow the playbook to execute for you, that I see it a little bit more elevated in women than men. Of course, I'm talking in general. There's always men better than women, or women that cannot execute. But in general, from my personal experience, that's what I'm seeing.
I love your perspective on that, and I really commend and like to hear men who have very serious, large leadership roles in companies and organizations who are shifting the perspective of and teaching us that, right? Because it's not always vocalized in terms of how you're seeing your female executives lead and work, and the power of the hustle and the power of the grind to be sure that your vision is executed and to be sure that is appropriate. So. Martina, we'll kind of shift to you. You hold a really important role in this town now. I know you had come from hospitality and now with the new Otonomus Hotel and this vision. So in terms of making your brand visible, what has it been like stepping into leadership at Otonomus, maybe off of the Strip, and now into a whole new concept from a woman's perspective?
It's been a lot of fun. I mean, this is my first off-the-strip property, my first off-the-strip brand, but honestly, just knowing Philippe's vision, how he sees the company running and the future of it, it wasn't really difficult to adapt to something that's off the strip. And I think that's where a lot of hospitality groups are going now, is those experiences in neighborhoods, those experiences off the strip that can give almost the same service, if not better,
Yeah.
So there's that competition. So for me, going off the strip and really emerging into my role has been a lot of fun. This is my 4th hotel opening, so I've done 4. Wow. This is the first one that's the smallest scale, but I would say the most complex in a good way. So the reason I say that is every property that I've opened has been on the strip, has had a lot of support from corporate, meaning like MGM Resorts. I did the rebranding of Park MGM and helped with that, and then moved to Resorts World and then Fontainebleau, but they all had a corporate executive team to sort of help a little bit. But here, it really is a startup, like a true startup, everything from the brand and also the technology. And I never thought of myself getting into technology, so I'm an expert in hospitality. I've been doing this for almost 18 years, but I really focused on more of the experience on properties at every hotel that I've opened. I never got so deep into AI and technology, and it's just the era that I'm in. Well, we're all in this era, but it's the opportunity that came to me. And when I sat and I thought about it, I'm like, I don't really know that much about technology. But with Philippe by my side and by Debbie's side, it's so easy to understand the goal. And once you understand the goal and vision, for a woman to start stepping into AI and technology, I have felt so blessed because it's opened up a whole new toolbox for me. I have a toolbox. I have my expertise buttons where I know how to do A, B, C, D, E. But getting into technology has been a wild world. Debbie and I were thrown in. We were guided, but we've literally picked it up. And now I know how to speak AI and tech. And she does too. It's remarkable. I didn't think I would be able to do this, but we're doing it. And it's been incredible. So this experience was something unexpected, and I love it. Every day we're working on modules for AI, for hospitality, and experiences. So basically, I'm enjoying every part of it.
Yeah, what I love about your story, right, from a woman's perspective, is you you're an expert in hospitality as it related to hotel, casino strip resorts on Las Vegas Boulevard here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And as you think about technology and you think about AI, those two things, I'm not really sure what the statistics are yet because it might be too new, but you typically see men being in charge of the AI and the technology piece of it. So what I love is that now it's been vocalized. You have a CEO who fully supports kind of a woman's led team. And how does that impact how confidently you lead and make decisions? Like I could probably guess, but I definitely want you to share with the audience kind of with him here vocalizing, like chasing the talent, how hard you and Debbie both work.
Yeah.
How does that even elevate you more as a leader, stepping into the unknown of still having that confidence in doing so?
I can talk on behalf of Debbie and I. I think we feel very blessed and very supported to have Philippe because it is true. We stepped into this in the unknown, and it could be scary for a lot of people in general, but also for women, not knowing AI, not knowing tech. Yeah, we're very experienced in hospitality, but it could be scary. However, talking about women and how Philippe supports them, I would say not just Debbie and me, but our director of sales is a female at Otonomus. Our director of residential is a female at Otonomus.
That's right.
So, I
well,
mean,
you
it's
missed the most important one. My chief of staff is a woman.
Of course.
It's Brittany,
yes.
and Brittany, she's my star. So I'm really surrounded by women.
He is.
And it's by coincidence. Honestly, I didn't wake up one day and say, "Oh, I want to have all these women around me." Like I chase talent, and it's what you give me, and I, vision is without execution is just an idea, right? It's very, very hard to execute, and for you to execute, you're gonna need discipline.
Right.
And for discipline, you're going to have a commitment. And to be able to have a clear commitment, you want a clarity. And you need a mindset. And that mindset needs clarity. And I really see in these women around me, they get it. Like they go into the detail of discipline, commitment, clarity, mindset. They ask the questions 3-4 times to make sure they understand, and then they take it and they run with it. And it's been for me great experience. But I just wanted to mention Brittany because also my chief of staff.
Yeah, he really is surrounded by women. But back to your question, absolutely. I feel there's been moments of doubt. I'm very open. I'm very transparent. I'm not going to say it's been smooth. Anytime you're doing a startup and you're also trying to understand a whole new vertical, it can be a little intimidating. But what's really helped me with Philippe, and I think same with Debbie, is that we're not scared to raise the flag and ask the questions and have a little bit of self-doubt. It's okay to have a little bit of self-doubt as long as you have that passion in your core to basically find the answers, raise your hand, ask for support. So you really have to put your ego aside. I've stopped Philippe plenty of times and the tech team, and I've honestly asked those questions like, how does this run? What is traditional in technology or in AI? Like, how do these systems talk to each other, integrate? How do we build this from scratch? And sometimes it really is just being vulnerable and looking at Philippe and pausing and saying, I'm honestly really confused at this stage. I don't know what direction to take. So that comes with trust. You have to have confidence. You have to have trust in your leader. And I'd also like to say the fact that he trusts us, it's reciprocated. We feel like we can trust him and we're never going to sound, stupid for asking certain questions. But that's how you build that bond. Is we have an owner in front of us, an owner and a visionary that's open with communication. He visits our offices multiple times, sometimes a day or a week. It's an open door. We have this flow where it feels natural to ask these questions and develop together. It's a brand, it's a vision, it's a product that we're developing together. So that makes me comfortable. And I would say kind of what we're talking about with female leadership, most of my leaders in Las Vegas, with the exception of 2, have been men.
Right.
And I'll say for the most part, most of them have been exceptionally supportive.
Always,
I've been very, very lucky where they've been supportive. They've seen opportunity and growth in me, and they've pushed me. So seeing also now not just a leader, but the owner of a property and brand really give me that sense of comfort and confidence as well is amazing. So there's a lot of men out there that are elevating women, that believe in women, that, so that's the story that I'd like to share is that my experience on the Strip, even though there's been a boys club
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
I've been blessed. I mean, really, really thankful for the leaders that I've had on the strip that have pushed me in that direction to believe in myself.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you bring that up. As I mentor women and I speak with women, I always want them to know that there are amazing men that are your confidants and mentors that will help elevate you more and more. And I just think that at times we don't talk about it enough, and we don't elevate men enough in terms of these situations. And women oftentimes only talk about the bad maybe that happened. And that is such a small percentage.
Right.
But if women, the more point of view they have, the more confidence they have, when they want to unzip the armor and say, hey, I need help with this because this is a brand new concept, they will go a lot further. And collective women's leadership is all about women making bold moves with help from very smart mentors who have gone the path before them and been successful. And I think at the beginning of the conversation, we leaned into a little bit of hospitality, and I actually shouldn't have said that. I should have talked about the AI technology piece of the hotel and how typically the AI currently, since it's so new, has been led and developed by men. The interesting thing about that is your product and your concept is all AI and technology driven, and you have given, you know, the talent that you've surrounded yourself with this amazing platform to learn in a startup situation.
So I mean, there's a lot here to say, and I think it's not just me. We've been talking about be trusting women, but it's not just that. The woman needs to trust me, and because when we say an AI hotel, that we didn't just wake up with a box, a perfect technology that we're going to implement and now go around the air. We're building it together. So for these women to change careers, right, and come from the biggest properties on the strip, come and trusting me with the vision, trusting that we're going to get to the finish line with the tech, because we're actually building it. It's not like, hey, we open and it's running.
Right.
Actually, we're building every module, we're testing it. So now you have to lead with chaos, and that's much more difficult than just leading. You got to lead with chaos. You're going to have everybody, and that's why I say my position is not a CEO. I see myself as a chief meaning officer, because you got to make people understand the meaning. And for me, the people are the surround the women around me. Then they got to go down to their teams, and they want them to believe in what we're doing. That's number one. You need to believe, because people don't like change. People don't like something new. People don't like something that's not perfectly working unless they understand why we're doing it. Then you got to understand where we're going with it. And then you gotta understand what's in it for you, right? So, and that's what I build in the team is like, hey, it's hard, it's chaotic, there's bugs, this is not gonna work. So we're building an AI and we're running manual at the same time. Hey, AI didn't work, jump to manual, from manual to AI to manual. So you go to the best and the worst of any operation in real time every day, because without having a real environment with real guests and real room, we're not going to be able to perfect it. And nothing is perfect, so you just got to improve that system. I mean, you have systems that have been around for 20 years and they have bugs and they don't work, right? So it's the challenge of them trusting my vision and trusting where I'm taking them and trusting the finish line to put their careers that they built, with years of proving themselves and come to a new concept that might fail right at the beginning. And so that's why I want to focus on them trusting me as much as I trust them. So it's a mutual thing. And you were talking about taking the bold moves. And that also goes back always to leadership, because that comes with the culture. So now you have a startup, you have leadership in a chaotic environment. It can be very chaotic if things are not working and the guests are upset and all of that. And then at the same time, you got to build the culture. So startup, chaos, leadership, and culture, building it at the same time. And that pressure makes all the difference, because you have people that fold under pressure and you have people that focus and deliver under pressure. And that's what I see in the team that I like, that they focus. And because that's how I am. I focus, and then they focus, and all I get from them, very rarely I get like, oh, I'm tired, I can't do it. It's like, I got it. And when they don't know, they come to me. And the culture that we're trying to build through this chaos or chaotic environment, challenging environment, is really the understanding that it's okay to make a mistake, it's okay to fail. Hey, it's a new product, and the new product is built with experiments, right? So we built it, we tested it on the tech side, but when you put it in the real environment, it's a whole new ball game, right? With a new guest that already complains, regardless, before even tech, they complain about the sheet, the bed, the this, the that. So now you gotta go serve that same client, and you gotta add a layer of issues and potential problems until we make sure it works correctly. So imagine the stack of problems that you're facing now. And you got to tell the team, it's okay, it's new, we're experimenting. So how does an experiment work? It works with trying, failing, fixing, failing, fixing. So it's okay to fail, no problem, let's go. But let's fail quickly, let's fail inexpensively. And that starts with us admitting that we did not understand, admitting that, hey, I did a mistake, I thought I was going to do it this way. It's okay, because we're all testing, even me, like, okay, you think you got it right, but it's the environment, the real environment is going to speak back to you if it was right decision or wrong decision. So really, you gotta be okay with making wrong decisions at the volume of decisions you're making on a daily basis, leading the team with a new technology that nobody has tested before on a real client that can be complaining, and we have to keep the smile with the client, and we have to keep him happy, and we gotta just tell him, how do you handle the client where they're like, tech key is not working, or where something that didn't work quickly, or they had to wait 5 seconds because the Wi-Fi is not connecting with the other thing so for the AI to work. So there's so many layers, and that they're controlling on their hand. That's above and beyond your tip. And we're in Vegas. So in Vegas, the bar is very high. So the guest comes in, and you're in Vegas, it's personalization, self-curation, and the guest needs to be happy. The guest is always right. And that's the challenge. So what I'm trying to tell you is I'm happy they trust me as much as I trust them.
I mean, I don't know how you feel, but for me, the biggest factor of trusting my leader is being able to feel comfortable enough to admit when I make a mistake.
Sure.
And I definitely have that feeling with Philippe, as much of a visionary as he is, as sophisticated as he is with his vision and his plans. Like, I've raised my hand and I've said, hey, I made a mistake. And, at every opening, I've made a mistake.
Right.
Yeah. But there's been a difference of me being vulnerable enough to say, I really messed up here. What do I do? Or what are the options? Because every hotel opening in hospitality and in Las Vegas is so chaotic. It doesn't matter if you have a corporate backbone, if this has been done elsewhere. There has not been one hotel opening
that's smooth.
Not one. Not crazy, one. But fun. I could write books with you about it.
That's right. That would be fun. We could do that.
Yeah.
So half of it is talent. The other half is character, and personality. And for me, because especially when you're going into the unknown, what at least needs to be known is the people around you, their character, their willingness to, push beyond their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Go into the jungle, get that elephant that nobody wants to touch, right?
Right.
And because they're afraid from the elephant. Once it's outside the jungle, everybody can touch it, but nobody's going into the jungle. So you want to pick these people that are willing to go into the unknown, into that jungle, knowing that there's an elephant on the other side. So this is what I see. It's the character, the personality, and there's a lot of talented people, but if their character is off, creates friction and toxicity in the team. How good are they? And it's headache is a headache for me. So it's really, I focus on the personality as much as I focus on the talent, and happens to be around me with women.
I love that. It's great for your hotel. It's a really good thing. Martina, in speaking to you and about you and Debbie making these big, bold moves off the strip, and I'm not sure about as chief of staff and the other women, but maybe. But what advice do you have for women? And to your point earlier, there were times that you were the only woman standing in rooms.
Yeah.
And especially as fast as we're moving into AI and technology and, people taking a chance on us, there are often times that we're the only woman at the table or in the room. And you've been there before.
Yes.
And what is your advice for women just stepping into a role like this?
My advice would be try your very best to build that confidence and trust within yourself, and surround yourself around leaders that are there, that you're starting to feel comfortable with, that you feel are going to lead you in the right direction. Yeah. So every time I've started at a new property, I always find a leader or two that I resonate with, that something feels right about their communication style, the way they think. And I try to build that sort of trust, circle where I feel I can go to them for advice. I feel like there's open communication. They can lead me the right way. They're not going to, give me bad advice and hope that I fail. And that's happened. I've had bad advice and I failed, and I've been able to pick up and move forward. But my advice to women that are in those situations is you can lead and you can build the strength yourself and be strong enough to just go through any battle. But I always advise them to find people within that network at their job where that can help them and support them. And they are there. You just have to dig a little bit deep and get to know people in the network. So, opening Resorts World, for example, when I first opened, I had a great network of people, but after some time, I started to really bond with other leaders on property. Some of them were female, some of them were male, but that really catapulted my confidence because I understood and I was learning more from them. It made a huge difference. Otherwise, I could have isolated myself and felt scared and gone to these meetings with all of these male executives and became, fearful of speaking up. Yep. But instead, because I had other people that I built relationships with there, they helped me build the confidence because they were seeing my work, they were recognizing it, but they also gave me advice. So I think really anchoring your relationships wherever you go is important. And I truly hope, and I always believe there's good in the world. So no matter what company or opportunity arises, I think people can find good people in that network or that organization. And it really depends on that network that you build. Be smart about who you're connecting with on property or at your job. And that'll really help you feel more confident and more secure when you go to the table and you're surrounded by powerful men. Yeah. That's how I feel. That's what's really helped me throughout all these years and all these openings, really.
Yeah, it's so smart. And finding advocates and people that you trust, whether they're male or female, it truly doesn't matter.
That's what
it's
you're
really
doing,
just chasing the talent, right? To his point.
Exactly. I was going to say, sorry to interrupt you, but that's kind of what you're doing. You've built this amazing platform for women to find each other and find support and confidence through other women, through their trades, through what they know, their expertise, and having that catapults their confidence.
Sure.
I know that learning some of the things that you put together, it really helps the women in your organization feel confident, and they're able to go out there and learn something. So I think what you're doing is incredible as well. So that's kind of the same message I'm sending out there. Either join Joyce's organization.
Thank you.
Join her organization. That's actually a good answer.
Thank you. I love that.
That's going to help women build some confidence joining your organization.
Yes.
Or B, find it within your organization. Yeah. So I just thought about you. I wanted to just give you so many positive affirmations for what you're doing out there in the city in Las Vegas. It's incredible.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for that. Welcome. I wasn't expecting it, but I will take it. Yes, I mean, really, the mission of Collective Women's Leadership is collectively bringing women together of all aspects of life. So I don't care about your title, and I don't care about your industry, because that was a big issue, right? Typically, networking organizations and groups, you have to be of a certain title. Or you are only in a certain, or you have to be in a certain industry. Both don't make any sense to me.
Right.
Because if you hold a certain title and you're not helping those below you and really helping them elevate, then and you're only surrounding yourself by people within your own title, you're doing so many people a disservice by not sharing your knowledge and giving it away.
I agree.
And most women have 5 or 6 very distinct different careers now.
Oh, yeah.
They're not staying on the strip in hospitality. They're not staying in tech, or they're not staying in corporate. And most are becoming entrepreneurs, but making that bold move and those steps is a really big deal.
I think it's important to pay it forward. I really do.
Yes.
I think the blessings you put out there and you bless people around you, you'll receive multiplied blessings.
That's
you have to give back, and giving back means giving your time as well.
That's right. That's a lot of work. How do you stay grounded in your leadership style with managing the chaos, as Philippe was talking about? So you guys have this really cool property and really cool concept. It's chaotic because all of the kinks aren't worked out, probably won't ever be worked out. But how do you manage kind of your leadership in chaos?
Well, I'm going to give you an answer that's very truthful, something that I did for myself recently, which I think is fantastic. So I went on a retreat, and I know you went on a retreat.
Great. Good for you.
So I'm going to say it the way it is. I needed to get away from the business for at least 7 days. I think it was about 8 days. I went to the Dolomites in Italy, and I went to an Ayurvedic retreat.
Wow.
It was filled with women that were burnt out from work, from family, from responsibilities. As you know, as women, we carry a lot.
Yeah.
And I did that for myself because I thought, what better way to recharge my soul, my spirit, clear my mind, than getting away, being around nature, and getting the support of people that are there to just comfort you and provide a safe space. So I went to the Dolomites. I got to remember the name of the hotel.
I just went to Sedona.
I know.
Jeez, I want to go to the Dolomites.
That should be your second location.
That's right.
I spent time just doing the Ayurvedic treatments, everything from meditation, prayer, yoga, to 2 Ayurvedic massages a day, and silence. The entire property was so pristine and silent. I was able to recharge, come back. I could think clearer. I felt better. That's one way. Now the other way that's more realistic.
Self-care is important, so I don't want you to skip that piece.
Super important.
Self-care is extremely important in leadership.
Yes.
And I think oftentimes we see on highlight reels, I'm guilty of it, right? I like the grind. I do like the grind. I'm a workhorse. And when you're developing your own company or starting a tech company and starting something new, like you love that grind and the work. But I do feel as though some women who maybe aren't in the same position, who are in corporate America and who love it, who are thriving there, still need to do things every single day to take care of themselves.
Absolutely.
To your point, you can come back and become a better leader. The power of the pause is very, very important.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. On a daily basis, what I try to do throughout all the chaos is it's really traditional, but really outlining and time management. So really organizing my thoughts, whether it's on paper or on the computer, and really just outlining what my week's going to look like and staying calm and connecting with my friends throughout the week. So, I do have my phone calls with my girlfriends multiple times a week where we get to talk about some of the blocks that we had throughout the week, situations, and we support one another. Again, it's about the network that you have and taking time to do little things for myself. It really does settle me down on a daily basis. So this is the easiest approach, but the larger approach is take a retreat.
I love that. Take a retreat.
Yes.
How do you manage and stay grounded in leading the chaos? I mean, you mentioned that a few times with the company and the startup and those types of things, but you seem very grounded, very calm always, but you are managing in chaos.
I think that comes, it's my character, then it comes as you become wiser in life and you balance your commitment with your temper, with your mindset and the status of your mind. For me, you said you love the grind. I don't love the grind every day. I love the grind sometimes. Sometimes I do not love the grind, but it's the commitment. When you commit to it, you just committed. You just got to keep going.
Yeah, that's right.
And you got to have the mindset to understand. And I always say that, I'm in peace with life because I know life. I know life. And I always tell people that when I talk to them, it's like, hey, we all know life is not fair. Right. We all know life that can be tough. We all know life that... So if you know that's 50% of the work done, now that the other 50 is because you got to expect it. And if you expect it, you got to be ready for it. And if you're ready for it, your demeanor, your mindset needs to be ready for it. And that's how I am. So you can throw things at me and I don't like them. I'll take them. But I'm already ready to be grounded and take the challenge on because I committed. Yeah. And sometimes I overcommit, like all of us. It's not like it's always on point and I know exactly what I'm doing. You don't. You throw into things. How many times? I've never done anything without thinking, okay, I'm going to flush out all the things that might go wrong.
Wish.
And I flush out 10 and I end up with 100.
That's right.
And then you flush out 50, you end up with 200.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah. So it really comes down on working on yourself for you to be ready to take on all the challenges that you know and you don't know and might come up and you were not planning for. But all of it is sitting, I think, on a character. Like my character all along has been grounded. I've been always logical. I'm an engineer. I'm pragmatic. So it helps a lot, right? So if my character was very emotional, high temper, I probably wouldn't be able to do what I've done in my life, right? So it sits on your character and you always grow and improve and learn. And also learning, it doesn't matter how much you know that you need to still keep listening, learning, working on yourself. I mean, I work on myself every day.
Yeah.
Some days it goes by and I don't like myself.
Yeah.
And I feel disappointed. I think I could have done better. And then you just wake up the next day and work on yourself. So it's an ongoing thing. And the reason I'm saying that is me as the CEO, that leader, like the visionary that you guys are talking about, I want to share. I don't have it all figured out. It's really, you got to get up
That's
every
hard,
morning
yeah.
and you got to work on it and figure it out. So if you wake up one day and you feel down, or you wake up and it's not clear what needs to be done, it's normal. It's okay. Just grind through that day. Tomorrow you're gonna have a better day.
Yeah.
What other choice do you have? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. No.
Nothing. You just got to face it.
And I'm going to go back in the vein of what you said about you don't like the grind, but you like the commitment.
Yeah,
I think
I enjoy the grind
I-
sometimes.
yeah.
It's just like you enjoy the grind sometimes. If you don't balance it, it
Sure.
becomes too much.
That's right.
A lot of times, and I'm not in agreement with like, oh, you have to love what you do. I mean, I
No,
don't love what I do every day. I
That's
love
right.
it most of the time. A lot of times I don't love it,
I
but I
agree
have to
with
deal
that.
with it.
That's
so,
for sure.
But that's reality, because if you don't tell the next generation or the people listening to me the truth, they're going to think,
That's
I'm
right.
having a bad day. I guess I don't like what I do. I was like,
No.
no, you don't like what you do every day.
That's right.
In
Never.
general, you like what you
No,
do. But
yeah,
you have,
you're never going to like it every day.
yes.
No
so,
way.
So that's very important.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
especially with like the young generation with social media now, the exposure, they get so much information, a lot of podcasts, and all these podcasts are done with either authors or commentators. They've never done it. They've never been. They're not speaking from the stadium, from the ground. And if you listen to them, you have to love your job. You have to do this. You have to. It's all theory.
It's unrealistic.
And people listening is like, okay, maybe I'm not made for that. Maybe they get scared. Maybe, I don't like my job because today I don't feel like going up. It's like they think that liking your job is you got to get up every day, jump happy every day, and
No
go to
way.
work. And then no matter what comes your way, you got to stay happy all the time. That's not the reality.
No, that's I do pride myself in collective women's leadership and what I've built and what we've built in terms of being so real, of women who've walked these paths that others want to walk. And even down to my website, I'm very careful. I don't have one stock image. I don't have one AI image. Everything you see on our website is real women doing real things within our community, making impact, networking effectively, taking bold moves and bold steps. And I think nothing we do is scripted that's even on Instagram, or that anything we're doing. And to your point, what drives me crazy with everything that's pushed to the younger generation is every influencer and every podcaster wants to give this younger generation a hack. Here's a hack to make an additional $2,000 this week. A, it's not sustainable. B, they have no idea the path to take to get there. And they think that they can just wake up one day and have all of these nice luxurious things that I know you and I have talked about privately in the past. But these kids don't realize that this is a result of what you're seeing now of 30 and 40 and 50 years of hard work.
The grinding.
The grinding, right? We've talked about some of the things. And so I just think people need to figure out what they like, knowing they're not going to be happy in their at work every single day. There's no way. They're not going to have everything figured out. And to just put their head down, start working, and become good at something.
Right.
You nail
True.
it. Is the bold move, okay?
That's right.
So when I started, let's say, Otonomus, okay, I didn't have it all figured out.
No.
I just knew I had it's solving problems, taking the bold move, and then the vision, it grows and it fine-tunes itself as you work on it, right? And when I talked about previously here, the commitment and the grind, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't had a day off in almost a year.
Right.
Okay, and no, I'm not happy with it. Sometimes I wake up on Saturday and Sunday and I say, I'm tired. Like, I don't want to get, I got all these meetings today, but I have nowhere to fit them except Saturday and Sunday. And that's when I miscalculate but I got to deal with it. I made the commitment and I will deal with it. So it's an ongoing grind, but the vision is never complete. You never have to wait until you have it all figured out for you to try it and make the move. You got to make the bold move with the right judgment. You will get there. There's no way you're not going to get there, especially in this country.
Right.
You know, I come from a different country, and for us, and I always tell the story, when I got the visa to come to the U.S., it was my lottery. Yeah. Imagine, that was my lottery. I felt I won the lottery. People look at me like, that was the chosen one. Oh my God, he got the visa. So that's how we see it.
Yeah.
I've never been here or even know what that's going to look like. It was in 1999, no social media, nothing. I didn't even know what am I going to be looking at. But it's just you being in this country, you have 50% of your path is already done.
That's
you just
right.
got to work on the other 50%.
Yep.
And I'm saying that I want to empower people that are here. It's the land of opportunity. If you put in the work, if you take that bold move, if you make the commitment, you will get there. You might fail a couple times. You might get, punched in the face,
Yep.
which is normal, multiple times.
Totally normal.
But if you put in the work, you will get there.
You absolutely will.
Yeah.
Well, I can't thank the two of you enough. The message is make the bold move. You're not going to have it all figured out. Philippe did that with Otonomus. Martina did that and going off of the strip into a startup. I did that with Collective Women's Leadership. It does happen. You're not going to have everything figured out. And this conversation proves that leadership doesn't happen by accident. Leadership happens by intention.
Absolutely.
Right? Intentional leadership.
One more message from me is to come and check Otonomus Hotel and see these beautiful ladies, the impeccable work they're doing. We're waiting for you.
Yes.
Yes, please do visit.
Otonomus Hotel. Tell them your links on Instagram and your website.
It's Otonomus Las Vegas on Instagram and then otonomushotel.com. We're on Decatur and Russell, only 7 minutes away from the strip. Please come say hi.
That's right. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and share this with everyone who needs to make bold moves and decisions in their career. Thank you. Welcome to the Collective Mic, the podcast where women leaders get loud about what really matters. I'm your host, Joyce Tody, founder of Collective Women's Leadership. We are not here for fluff. We're here to lead, build, and rise together. Whether you're climbing the corporate ladder, building your own brand, or redefining leadership on your terms, this mic is for you. So let's get into it.